Hello, lovely. For this class, we're going to be doing a gentle hip stretch. I will be showing a few modifications using blocks, but you definitely don't need them at all. Or if you'd like, you can even use some books, and in some cases, you could just use a pillow or a folded blanket or towel. With that said, let's begin at the top of our mat. Lower down onto your hands and knees to get yourself into child's pose. We're going to do a bit of a wide set child's pose with your knees at the outer edges of the mat and your arms stretched out forward. Don't worry about how low your butt gets towards your feet. It's okay if they hover a little bit. You can take this time to slowly allow your back to stretch out and for your hips to get a little bit lower to your feet if you can, and ease into the pose. You can even use a block here if you'd like to prop up your hips. This will allow the muscles to kind of relax into the stretch if you're having any discomfort in your knees, preventing you from getting any lower. Take a deep inhale, and then exhale. Now we're gonna transition into puppy dog pose. You want to reach your chest towards the mat and as well as your chin. It's okay if you can't get all the way down. You can slowly lift yourself up back to your hands and knees and bring your right knee under your chest and put your foot at like a diagonal, like a 40-degree angle under your left hip, and use your hands to prop yourself up, kind of like a tent. You can also use blocks here as well to bring the floor closer so that your hands don't have to stretch down so far, or a block or a pillow or a blanket under your hip to again allow the muscle to relax into the pose rather than working so hard to hold you up. Remember to breathe. Focus on your breath and how you feel right now in this moment. Now you can bring yourself down closer to the floor, folding over the hips. You can use your arm as a pillow here. But if it feels nice for you, you can bring your forehead all the way to the floor. Or you may find that at first you need to prop your head up, but as you sit into the stretch, you're able to go deeper, and that's perfectly fine too. can bring yourself back up onto your hands and transition into a quick tabletop. To switch sides, put your left knee under your chest and your left foot under your right hip at a 45-degree angle, making sure not to feel any pain in your knee and to adjust. And don't push through that pain. You can place your hands on your leg and your foot to help bring you up higher if you'd like as well. Now again, you can start to lower yourself down to the floor. You can use your arm or a block as a pillow to lift your head a little higher. Bring your attention back to your breath. How you're feeling. How does your ribs feel as they expand as you inhale? Now you can bring yourself back up to a quick tabletop to then transition into a downward dog. You can have a slight bend in your knees. The important thing to focus on is straightening your back, bringing your chest towards the top of your thighs. Your heels do not need to touch the mat, and sometimes I even need to grab onto the edges of my mat so my hands don't slip. Now you can bring your left foot forward to get ready for a warrior 2 pose. You want your back foot to be at a 45-degree angle, slightly pointed towards the front of your mat. And your knee, you can bend your knee to go directly above your ankle for a little bit more intensity in the pose, or you can back it off a little bit to make it a little more gentle, whatever your body needs. Just make sure your knee doesn't go over your ankle. Like, you don't want it to go past your ankle towards your toes. Take an inhale. Now we're going to transition into a wide-legged forward fold. If reaching your hands all the way down to the floor is uncomfortable, you can use blocks or books to help bring the floor up to you. And if not, you can put your feet on the floor in line with your feet, with a slight bend in your knees. You don't want to lock your knees. Nice stretch in the back of your hamstrings. Straighten your back. It's okay if your hands need to come forward more instead of being aligned with your feet in order for you to straighten your back. And who doesn't love some puppy cuddles while they do yoga. As long as I, don't get knocked over. It's okay. Ebony coming to cuddle gave you guys a little extra time to stretch into this pose. Now we're going to transition to Warrior 2 with your right leg being in front this time. I'm going to twist and slightly bend your right leg. Try not to fall with Ebony pushing right into me. Keeping your arms up and straight. Gazing towards your front fingertips. I know this pose can be some work, so don't be afraid to decrease the bend in your knee if you need a little bit more ease here. Feel your core engage towards your back of your spine. Bring your chest up high. And now come to the back of your mat this time. And get ready for a forward fold. You can reach your feet down, or reach your hands down to your feet. Again, you can use blocks or books here to bring the floor higher to you, if that makes the pose more accessible. You can have a slight bend in your knees, don't lock them. You can reach your hands behind your calves if you want a little bit of a deeper stretch. You can also paddle out your legs if that feels good. Now we're going to transition into an assisted Malasana pose. If you have a blog or a book, I don't know if a book will work too well here, but we can try. You can use the block to sit on with your feet at the outer corners of your mats and bring your elbows to touch your knees into a prayer. Keeping your back straight and your chest up. And if you feel comfortable to remove the block or book, you can lower your hips a little bit more and even extend your arms rather than doing a prayer pose to give you some balance. And lift back up into a forward fold. Bring your arms all the way up for a full body stretch. Hands together for prayer. Thank you so much for allowing me to guide you through this practice today. I hope your hips feel more open and you've learned to embrace exactly where your body is currently and that you're deserving of modifications and acceptance for exactly where you are currently, rather than feeling like You're supposed to be able to operate in a certain way. However your body needs to operate is perfect, and it's all that it needs to do. I hope to see you here again for more gentle yoga poses. Bye for now.